Hello and welcome everyone to another video. Videos take energy and a bright brain, in which I do not have at the moment. My brain feels very foggy and I feel a little bit tired, but I think once I get going, I'll just kind of ramble and ramble and ramble. So here we go. All of the knitting projects, the things that I've been working, the things that I'm currently doing, the things that I have finished, and the things that I plan to do. Here we go. All right, so first of all, I finished half of a sock. This was not a priority knit ever in its life. This was my filler knit, the knit that I did in between projects, main projects, or the knit that I did when I needed a mindless knit, but I was at a point in my other projects in which I needed to focus really deeply in on. And so this was that space. This filled that niche, and now it's done. So that's cool. I like how it turned out. I don't like the stripes here. I feel like they're just a little too diffused. So I think when I do a second one, I might just omit them completely and say, oh, well, they're not the same. That's okay. Then I worked on a beret. This is the Western Sky Beret by Caitlin Hunter. And I had so much fun knitting this hat. I knitted up, I think, in 4 days because I was just so interested in getting to the next round, because every round was different. This is my first time doing all over lace work and my first time doing cables. It also has bobbles, so it was just changing up a lot, and it was really fun. I, however, don't like the end results. I don't like how it fits. It feels a little bit small. And I'm also a little bit bummed with how muted all of the lacework and cables kind of, and the bobbles for that matter, kind of ended up. They don't stand out very much after blocking. They kind of like flattened out a little bit. But it was so fun. It was a great example of all of the things that I have learned over the year, and that in of itself, I think, is really valuable. Just to be able to read the pattern and to understand the language it was just actually gave me a lot of confidence. And then when I finished and the hat was kind of a flop in its final state, I then lost a little bit of confidence again and had to like push through it. I also knit this hat. This is a classic ribbed hat by Pearl Soho. This is one of my favorite hat patterns. It's a very wearable hat. I had this in my stash for a long time. I actually bought this yarn for this hat and started this hat many months ago, and maybe made about this much progress and then pulled it all out because I love the color, but not to wear. I'm not a fan of wearing this color, I've realized, but I love to look at this color. And the tweedy yarn is just really fun. But I think it's just too bright of a green for me, too spring green. And so I pulled it out with the anticipation of giving the yarn to someone else, but I actually never heard back from that person. So I decided to use it up and gift this in the form of a hat. And I have someone that I'm hoping it will work out for. They live somewhere cold. They're coming into town. I don't know how they'll feel about this color. I hope it fits. I hope they like it, but I know they need a hat. They've said as much. So that's what I'm thinking. Then I knit another hat, and that is the one that I'm currently wearing. And this is another Caitlin Hunter hat. This is the Sacred Sheep hat. And I'm really proud of this one. It's the longest hat that I have ever made. So this particular pattern, it's really cool because it has 3 different cuffs, 3 different crown options, 3 different, no, I don't know actually how many, but different yarn weights that you can use. And then I added a pom-poms, my first time doing pom-poms, which is kind of fun. And it was just a really fun project to work on. I chose to work with the fingering weight yarn because that's what I have the most of in my stash. And I really, 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 really struggled with picking out the contrasting colors for my color work. I knew I wanted to do this brown color for the brim. That much I knew for certain. But, and I'm still really glad that I did go with this brown, but I'm like just a little bit on the fence about the colors I chose for the color work portion. But that's neither here nor there, because I like the hat. It's comfortable to wear and it's fun. So, and again, it's just like, it's so exciting to have come this far. And gosh, man, holy cow. Let me just say, knitting is not for the faint of heart. I feel like you have to have so much determination to push through all of the many, 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 many challenges that come with knitting. This is a hard craft to learn. The learning curve is steep and it also is very, very slow. Oh my goodness. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know whether to be proud or a little bit worried about my determination in regards to learning this craft, because man, it's certainly been full of challenges. But also when things do actually work out and you are experiencing like growth and learning and seeing the results of all your hard work, it feels really good and it's very empowering. But then on the flip side, it can also be really defeating when you have high hopes for something and it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. I think this sweater, admittedly, is a little bit of an example of that, even though I have not talked about it at all publicly. I have really, really, really struggled with the fit of this sweater. I love everything about this sweater when it's not on my body. I love the yarns that I used so much. I love the pattern so much. I had so much fun working on it. But gosh darn it, when I put it on my body, it's a little bit of a struggle because in my head, it amplifies some of the things that I least like about myself. And that's my own hangups. And it's silly because really I should just be proud and wear this proudly and embrace it for what it is. I picked the right size. It's not the pattern, it's not the sizing, it's just how it fits on my own self and my own insecurities that are just kind of coming to a head. And it's surprising because I really didn't expect that to happen. And that kind of deflated my proverbial knitting balloon, so to speak. And I felt like I've been kind of wandering around like, oh, what do I do now? I just finished the sweater and it took me a really long time and I worked so hard. And on the flip side, I'm like really proud of it, but I don't want to wear it because I don't like how it makes me feel when I wear it. So it seems so silly, but that has been a struggle. I am embracing it because gosh darn it, I love this sweater so much and I love the fibers that I used so much, and I've already expressed that, I know, a million times, and I just want to wear it. It's a beautiful sweater. It feels good. It fits well. I gotta remind myself these things. It's a work of art that I get to wear around, and so gosh darn it, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna be proud of it, and I'm gonna stop looking at all of the other things, the bad things. Stop pointing out the little flaws in it, in my own self. Really, it has nothing to do with the sweater. It's my own body image that's kind of hanging me up a little bit. That's a lot to talk about. So anyways, we're just gonna leave it at that. I do really love this sweater, and here I am. I'm wearing it. I'm gonna wear it today. I wore it yesterday. I'm gonna wear it as much as I can this season. I am currently working on a sweater that was just released by Alicia Plummer. This is called the Aperture Pullover, and I was keyed into it through Casey at Young Folks Knit. She did a test knit for Alicia for this pattern and actually worked with the same yarn that I am working on. and I fell in love with her yarn, the yarn that she chose. I'm a little bit obsessed with Casey and everything she does and everything she wears, and she's just so wonderful and makes me so happy and so inspired. And I want to be Casey when I grow up. And so here I am, kind of copying her color because I'm just really inspired. I had to cut that out. I also have been sick these past 2 weeks, and so I'm just getting over that. Anyways, what was I saying? I don't remember. So the yarn is Noro Madara in the color 22, which is a beautiful brown with little specks of orange and greens and like a navy blue and reds. And I just love that. I love when a yarn is not all the same color. I love when there is some variation in it, and I want to share that with you if it will pick up on the camera. I don't know, I feel like it's really hard to capture that. It's like one of those things you just need to see it in person to really understand like all the depth that a yarn can have. It's really beautiful. Oh, there's even like a plum color in it. It's wonderful. But overall, it's a very brown color, and it's a lovely brown. This is a top-down raglan sweater. So I have, you can see there's some shaping too for the back, because the back panel is a lot larger or thicker than the front panel. And that's because you start knitting this flat and you focus on building up that back panel before joining in the round so that it gives it some shape. I really love that about the patterns that I've been working on lately. This one had the same thing. Instead of working it flat, you actually start in the round and you do short rows in the back so that you create extra length. Anyways, I digress. The neckline is a raw edge currently because you do go back and pick up the stitches for a ribbed collar. And so I'll do that at the end. That's all I have to say about that, I think. Just, this is a skein of that Noro yarn. It's so beautiful. I had another coughing fit. Okay, it is a wool, silk, and alpaca blend, and it's really fun to work with. It will... Okay, actually, I should wrap up this video because my throat's starting to feel really dry, and I'm feeling that like coffee feeling starting to be more and more of a thing. There's one last project that I'm going to be doing, and it's my very, very first test knit. I'm going to be test knitting what is currently being called the Scotch Pine Pullover by Alicia Plummer. And it is a color work sweater, and I'm so excited. This will be a really new and different experience, and I've already received the pattern. I don't know how much is expected, but it might just be the yoke work that we need to have done within the next 8 weeks, or the whole sweater. I don't know. So as soon as my yarn comes in, I'm gonna just like focus all of my energy into working on that so that I can do a good job as a tester for Alicia Plummer. And I'm really excited. I've already received the pattern. I think I'm feeling pretty confident that I am now at the skill level to be able to do something like this. And I think I will be able to understand the pattern and hopefully where there might be some discrepancy that needs to be sorted out by the designer. I don't know, we'll see. I have no idea what to expect, but there is a chat group for it. So I think, you know, any questions that I have, I'll be able to ask in the group and hopefully get some answers. So it'll be really fun. It'll be a very different experience. So on that note, I am going to say goodbye, go drink a whole lot of water, and see you all in another video. Bye.